From day one, I have made affordability for New York families a top priority. I always have, and I always will, fight to put more money in the pockets of everyday New Yorkers. That's why back in June, I stood up on behalf of hardworking families and simply said no. No to a new $15 congestion toll that at that particular time was just too much. Too many people were worrying about high costs, groceries, rent, childcare. These are real challenges for our families. And launching a toll that high really would have hurt a working mom or working dad trying to make ends meet, especially someone driving in from a transportation desert or far from outside the center of the city. As governor, it is my job to make decisions that take into account the needs of all working New Yorkers. So I made the decision to put the congestion pricing program on pause while we devise a different path forward. State law requires that congestion pricing simultaneously raise money for the MTA and drive down traffic congestion. These are important priorities. But I believe that no New Yorker should have to pay a penny more than absolutely necessary to achieve these goals. And $15 was too much. And I'm proud to announce we have found a path to fund the MTA, reduce congestion, and keep millions of dollars in the pockets of our commuters. Under this plan, the MTA will implement a congestion pricing plan with a reduced daytime toll of $9 beginning in January. You heard that correctly. It was $15 before, and now it is $9. That is a 40% reduction. This lower toll will save daily commuters nearly $1,500 annually. And that kind of money makes a big difference for our families. And there'll be further discounts for low-income New Yorkers. Car owners who make less than $50,000 a year will get a 50% discount on every toll after their 10th toll on the month. In addition, after 9 p.m., the toll is discounted even further. This is to encourage nighttime deliveries in particular and help reduce congestion during the daytime hours. Here's the most critical part. This $9 daytime toll is enough to secure the $15 billion in MTA funding that congestion pricing was intended to support. We're still getting the $15 billion to fund the MTA, and drivers are paying $6 less. This lower toll will still allow us to accomplish all, and I mean all, of the goals of congestion pricing. New modern signals, the long-awaited 2nd Avenue subway, new electric buses, elevators, and this will generate major investments for our suburban commuters as well, on top of the $800 million we've already invested to boost the LIRR service by 40%, and the work that Metro North is doing across Westchester, Dutchess, and Putnam counties. We'll also begin to drive down gridlock and the emissions as intended. And we'll deliver major environmental improvements for places like the Bronx, so that lower-income communities will not only benefit from improved public transit service, but also cleaner air. And today, I'm directing the MTA to make major service enhancements to at least 23 bus routes in the outer boroughs. This would mean running buses more frequently along those routes. Now, this is all an acknowledgement, as we know, that the MTA is absolutely vital for our region's economy. Without it, people can't get to work, children can't get to school, and our state would grind to a halt. Years and years of disinvestment and underinvestment in the MTA by previous administrations ends today. Yes, it's hard. But that's also today why I'm announcing my strong support for the MTA's 2025 to 2029 capital plan. To ignore the challenge of funding improvements to a 100-year-old aging infrastructure would be nothing but an abdication of my duties as governor, and I will not do that. The capital plan will help fund projects that I launched, such as the Interborough Express. This project alone will save commuters between Brooklyn and Queens at least 30 minutes each way. It's a perfect example of our vision to build a safe, reliable, high-performing transit system that New Yorkers deserve. MTA Chair and CEO Jana Lieber will discuss more of the particulars of the capital plan in a moment. And I'm directing the MTA also to improve efficiencies, drive significant cost savings to protect New York taxpayers. And we'll continue to work closely with our federal, state legislators, and our city partners to close any gaps in our budget negotiations later in the year, just as we did last year when I structured a funding plan to keep the MTA from going off the fiscal cliff. Yet another example of my strong commitment to public transit. And I'll continue insisting upon efficiencies and savings in the MTA in the years ahead. Let me close with this. Congestion pricing is fundamentally about meeting three critical objectives: ensuring our commuters can rely on safe subways and commuter trains now and into the future, ensuring we can decongest our clogged streets, improving the quality of life for residents, the safety of pedestrians, and access for emergency vehicles, and ensuring we reduce vehicle emissions to enhance our air quality. We know our downstate businesses and our economy depend on the MTA to transport more than 6 million commuters every single day. Safeguarding the long-term viability of our subway and commuter rails, the safety of our streets, the health of our environment, and the strength of our economy, these are all hard to do, but they're necessary. And as New York City enters into a realm where no other American city has gone before, recall that the journey was first proposed decades ago. And this has been the law of our state for the last 5 years. When I announced the pause, I spoke about working New Yorkers, hard-working New Yorkers. And I said I would fight to put as much money back in their pockets as I possibly could. Some skeptics predicted we'd never find a path that would lower tolls while still addressing congestion and the important funding of public transit that millions of New Yorkers rely on. But that's exactly what we did. It was a challenge. But as a result, New Yorkers will benefit from millions of dollars in reduced costs. That's my commitment to New Yorkers. And I might not always take the easy path, but I'll always take the right path for the people of this great state, now and into the future. Thank you.